In this video, I'm going to tell you about my favorite apps that I use in the practice room every day. These tools are going to help you get more done with your practice time and save you money. So let's get to it. Now, I'm always telling my students to practice with a metronome. When I was a student in the 90s, I bought my first metronome and it cost me about $35 if I remember correctly. Now, this thing had one sort of little click sound on it that I could barely hear over the sound of my saxophone playing. Another thing I always tell my students to do is practice with a tuner. Now, when I bought my first tuner back in the 90s, it cost me over $60. Now, this thing was bulky and I had to carry it in my bag with me, and it was always getting turned on by accident in my bag, so when I needed it, the battery was always dead. Today, if you have a smartphone or a tablet, you can get yourself an amazing tuner and metronome all in one app for one really low price. Now, I've tried many apps for metronomes and tuners, and what I'm using right now, my favorite go-to app is called Tonal Energy. This thing costs only $4 and it's both a metronome and a tuner. So for what cost me as a student over $100, you get way more functionality and way more power from something that costs the same as a cup of coffee. So let me just quickly show you the metronome first. It's got loads of functionality. One of the things that I don't care about, a lot of the stuff that it allows you to do, like the flashy bit or the accent on different notes. What concerns me, what's important to me, is the sound. So I like the drum sound they use, but you can see there's this whole list of sounds you can use. And it's really important that you find a sound that is pleasant to you because you're going to be listening to it quite a lot. And they've got loads of things to choose from, at least. Next, I'm going to show you the tuner. This tuner does more than any other tuner I've ever seen. I've got it set up now to be for tenor saxophone or a B-flat transposing instrument. So if I play my C, middle finger C, on my saxophone, this app knows to transpose, so it shows me that note that I'm playing. And as you can see, it's got that fun smiley face that lights up and tells you when you're in tune. You can adjust the sensitivity. I've got it set to medium here, but you can use fine. Ultra fine, I find, is a bit over the top. You can't get a better value for only $4 for a tool in the practice room. I really like this part. It's got this tone wheel, and I could set it up to play notes, and I could use that to match the pitch. Hearing the note first in tune and then matching the pitch on your instrument with your ear is an even more effective way to work on your intonation. This is another app that I love. It's called Anytune Pro. And I use this to transcribe, and I've been doing a lot of transcribing lately, and this is amazing. So what I'm going to do here is I make a marker there. And we need to show these things. That's going to be A, that's going to be B, and we're going to loop that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, you could see I'm going to slow it down. You could really slow it down to tremendously slow, which is very helpful for learning fast passages. Another thing you could do with this app is change the key. With just one button, you see there, I've changed the key up a half step. This app costs a bit more. I think it's about $15 in the App Store. There's a free version that has some limited functionality. But if you want to transcribe solos, which is a very time-consuming process, you can't do any better than this. And for $15, It's amazing. Now, another really useful app is this thing called iReal. Now, I don't use this necessarily every day, but I have used it on gigs and during rehearsals when somebody calls a tune that I don't necessarily know the chord changes to very well. This can help us all get on the same page, so to speak, playing the same chord changes. What I love about this is that you can make edits. You know, back in the day, we used to buy these real books, these big, thick, like this, chunky books that weighed several pounds each, and they were notoriously full of mistakes, and they had a selection of standards and some other songs that nobody ever played. So there's a lot of wasted pages in those books. Now we can have all the real books and whatever songs, whatever chord changes you want in your pocket with this app. I think it's about $10. It's definitely worth it. What it also does, which is great, is it can play the charts back to you in a variety of styles. And you could even change the instruments. Instead of piano, I got it set to organ. It doesn't have the melodies to the songs, but that's fine because I recommend that all saxophone players learn all their song melodies by ear and play them without sheet music in front of them anyway. It's also a good idea to memorize the chord changes to songs. One thing that I really don't like to see is saxophone players playing on stage with chord charts in front of them. At any time you can avoid that, you should. It's best to memorize the tune before you go and perform it. Finally, the most important app that I use every day, whether I'm in the practice room or not, is my music player. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Listening is at least as important to your development as a saxophone player as playing the saxophone is. One last time, I'm going to refer to the old days, but back then we had to buy CDs and they cost $15 to $20 a pop. I had hundreds of these things and they covered a whole wall in my room. Now, for $10 a month, you can have access to most of the recordings that are out there and listen to them anytime, anywhere you are. Make some time to listen to music every day. I highly recommend getting a subscription to something like Apple Music or Spotify. I use these services every single day, and it's really worth the money. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click the like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel with one click right here.